The people that are hardest to love need it the most. The people that are hardest to love need it the most. Now, we're all human beings, and we're all connected in one way or another. True or true? And what I like to talk about is kindness. Not when you're in a good mood and things like that, but when things might not be going so well for you. Are you able to come from that place of generosity? Are you able to come from that place of caring, gentleness? Because so often in societies there's a focus around money, and there's a focus about what I can get for myself. But how about the virtue of kindness? Giving to others without expecting anything in return. And there's many forms of kindness. Random acts of kindness. And it was just the other day that I was in Bondi, and I was parking the car, I had to go to the bank or something, and I had my ticket left over, it was like 20 minutes left over, and I just put it on the car behind me, and the guy was just completely stoked. It was just like that small gesture. But when you do a small gesture like that, isn't it like dropping a pebble in a pond? That's just that one small act can then radiate outwards and then impact and affect that person's day, and that person affects and impacts someone else's day. It's that positive state of mind. There's a lot to be said for that. Or even just giving $1 to that homeless person, because you don't know what that person has been through, what that person has come up against to put them in that situation. And they say the key of happiness. There was a study done, the Dalai Lama actually was at a convention and had all these scientists there. And they were coming up with the keys or principles to happiness. And what they found was that when you actually do something for another human being, that is one of the most rewarding forms of happiness. And just think, when was the last time you actually did something for someone and it was just totally unexpected, totally random, or someone did something generous for you? What's the kindest thing someone's done for you? What's the kindest thing you've done for someone else? And didn't it feel good? I mean, me myself, my background, I come from a very rough upbringing. It was a very traditional, where you had to be strong, you had to actually, fighting was just the way you sorted out an argument. That was just the way things were done. And the big turning point for me, I think that most enlightening situations when you have like a quantum moment, or you get outside yourself, when you have that point of pressure and you go past breaking point, like a point where you don't think you can go anymore. For me, when I actually did some charity work, it was the first time I did anything and I'd never been paid for it. And it was at Mission Australia here in Sydney. And I was doing a coaching program at the time. And a mentor of mine said that you actually should go and do this. It would actually enable you to get outside yourself. And I went there, and I'd actually never spoken to in front of a group of people before, ever. And I went there, and public speaking can be a scary experience, true? And I just watched Tony Robbins' syntax on how to present to a group of people. Went in there, I just connected with these people. These people were like borderline homeless, had like past drug addictions, abuses, mental illnesses. A lot of them were doing depression and were on antidepressants. And I just was there, I just connected to them as a human being and just saw the real person, the real essence there, and connected. And that, lo and behold, they opened up, that I would become expressive. and connect to their true being. And I got some fantastic results there. I had people that were actually on antidepressants for years, and within a month, and doing some coaching in that as well, off the antidepressants, working and leaving the centre within a month. I had a few cases like that. Treating people like a human being, we all have that desire of wanting more, to be a bigger person. No matter what our situation is. We didn't come here to play small, we came here to be big people, wherever that may be. In a sense of contribution, whether it be in business. Whatever we undertake, we didn't come here to do it in a small scale. So being kind to the kind and being kind to the unkind, because kindness is his nature. Really, when you think about it, that is like, if you peel back all past conditionings, that's really our true essence, is to be thoughtful of other people. Is to be kind. And what is the kindest thing someone's done for you? For me, it was 2006, I went on a holiday to Tonga. And I love a sense of adventure. Who here likes a sense of adventure? It's exciting. It gets you out of your normal day-to-day routine. And I was in Tonga and I was driving around with a girlfriend at the time, and we're checking out some surf spots, and we went across to this very scenic place, and it was in the middle of nowhere. And I had a small red car, and the roads there aren't the best roads, and it had been raining. So you can imagine that, you know, there was a lot of mud and things everywhere, and it was like a small red Daihatsu or something like that. And I wanted to go down this dirt track, and the car got bogged in the middle of nowhere, and it was on dusk. And of course, the girlfriend was frantic. How could I do this? How could I do that? Blaming me for this, blaming me for that. We've all been there, right? And so we instinctively just went and looked for help. And we just, everyone we asked, you know, just didn't want to abide the situation. Finally, we flagged down a car, and they took us into one of the small villages. And we just kept asking people. And then these guys, they were very friendly, but also quite rugged, and they were drunk. But they were very keen. I think it was maybe not so much of a sense of kindness, but they're definitely up for a sense of adventure. I think the idea of pulling a car out of a mud bog really appealed to them, and it was it was an exciting experience. But it was like they didn't have to do it, you know what I mean? And they actually went to a lot of effort. They got a long rope and a winch, and you know, they borrowed a friend's four-wheel drive, and they winched the car. The thing was that they actually didn't take it out the right way. I mean, the logical way. It was stuck in a bog. There was a natural hole here, and then there was like a cliff top. And the ocean was fiercely crashing on the rocks. And they took it back around on the other side. So now if you take us back through again. So essentially it took us through two mud bogs. The first mud bog, the second mud bog. And I'm sliding out, I'm in the car steering it as they're winching around. The cliffs on this side, the craters here. Make it to safety, and they're all cheering on the other side. But again, they didn't have to do it. I mean, they enjoyed the process. So I mean, kindness or being kind doesn't have to be weak, doesn't have to be soft. You know, from my background, if you were kind or you showed that thoughtfulness, that was considered a weakness. And I'm here to say that it's not a weakness at all to be thoughtful, to be kind. It's a strength. Because it's proven now through quantum science that we're all structurally the same. We're made of the same cells. So is it a strength to look out for a fellow human being, not a weakness? And in time, getting out of that mud bog hole and making it on the other side was an example of kindness. So being kind to the kind and kind to the unkind, because kindness is your nature. Thank you.